Welcome everyone to the very first NASCAR Heat 4 video. Today's video is all about the recently released information regarding the cover reveal and also the pre-order announcements. Pre-orders are now active for NASCAR Heat 4 on both Xbox, PlayStation, as well as PC. In today's video, we're going to be looking at three different sources of information, a couple from the main NASCAR Heat 4 website, as well as a different article from motorsport.com. I'll leave links to all of those if you want to read those in more detail down in the description below. First and foremost, the cover reveal. Here you see the main cover, which features both Kevin Harvick and Tony Stewart. Tony Stewart is important here because he's being added to the Dirt Series, both as an owner and a driver. So that's going to be an interesting new addition to NASCAR Heat 4. There's also an additional cover which features Jeff Gordon, and it is the gold edition of the game, and we'll look a little bit more detail about that here in just a moment, what the differences are between the base game as well as the gold edition. So we're not going to go through the entire thing, but I did want to point out a couple of things in this press release that I found interesting. And one is that as you get down a little bit farther, I'm trying to give you a chance to see a few of the screenshots that they've included with the game. You can pre-order right now only from the NASCAR Heat 4 website as best I can find. I could not find a pre-order link through Steam, and I have seen online where there is no option to do so either through Xbox or PlayStation. As of now, who knows when that will change, but at some point in the future, obviously, that will change. Since this coming September, they'll be releasing on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and of course, the PC version. They're having a variety of new game features and improvements, and it says they're based on community's feedback. That is always a dangerous thing because a lot of information you get from the community is not really all that useful. For those of us who've been around a while, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So here are some of the changes that they've included. A deeper career mode. We're going to take a look at one of the ways that I believe they're considering it deeper here in another one of our sources, but they're also talking about upgraded graphics. We shall see. I'm sure there'll be a lot of comparisons done once the game is released. Track maps, and then the addition of the 2019 rules package. So based on the current physics in the game, it's going to be interesting to see how this 2019 rules package works out. It probably isn't going to make the cars drive a whole lot different other than changing the speeds. Another big addition is the changes to the engine sound. So it says that we've added new on-track car recordings for all three series to give a lot of realism to the engine sounds. So for those of you who might be like me and really don't like the engine sounds in NASCAR Heat 3, maybe help is on the way. Also, the Xfinity Series Toyota Supra has been added to the game, as you can see in the picture below. It says they've expanded online multiplayer. We'll see how that goes. And then, the most important for me, newly updated driving physics, and it says for all series. Once again, we'll see how that goes. Does that simply mean that the speeds are going to be slower based on the 2019 package, or have there been other tweaks? Again, we shall see. And for those of you interested, they do have links for both Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course the YouTube channel. Next thing I want to take a look at really quickly is they've got up a NASCAR Heat 4 facts section. Now, a lot of this information is sort of self-explanatory, and I'll leave you guys to read through a lot of this, but it does let you know that pre-order starts today, and if you order the special Jeff Gordon edition, you will have early access to Martinsville at night. So that's one of the carrots that they're dangling out there for you to purchase that gold edition. And we'll see the pricing for that here in just a moment as we scroll down. So when will it be released? Well, as far as they will go right now is to say September, and then they give us the platforms once again. All right, now we come to the most important question for a lot of people. What is included in my edition of NASCAR Heat 4? So we have two editions. Standard edition, which is going to come in right at $50, and the Jeff Gordon Gold edition, which comes in right at $70. So what are you getting for this extra $20? You're going to get a special steel book, and I'm sure we'll have more information in the future about that. And of course, you're going to get the game itself. But most importantly, to a lot of people, you're going to get the 3 days of early access as well as the season pass. So some very nice additions there. You'll have to decide if that's worth the extra amount of money for you. And then, of course, they have a visual guide where you can look at the differences between the two editions. It also gives you a brief look at the Jeff Gordon gold cover. So early access will start, as mentioned, 3 days before the initial release date in September. So very nice, but again, only for those who have the gold edition. When can I play Martinsville at night? Now, I find this to be a very interesting decision that they've made. And so they've decided to separate access to the Martinsville night track. From the very beginning, once the game is released, you'll have access offline to play in quick race on the new Martinsville night track. However, you will be unable to use the track online until the start of 2020 season, which quite frankly is a long time from the release of this game. So really not sure why they decided to go with that. Why not make it available from the very beginning, both offline and on? I can kind of understand not putting it into the career mode right away, but it seems like an interesting decision to me to leave it away from the the online gameplay. Then we've got a couple of questions about both cross-platform and progression in the career. Does your career progression transfer from Heat 3 to Heat 4? And no, it will not, so you'll need to start fresh. And again, we'll look at a little bit more what I find a very interesting detail about the career mode update here in just a moment. Okay, and something I would really like to see, cross-platform play. Unfortunately, it is not going to be in NASCAR Heat 4. Part of that could have something to do with the game developers themselves, but I'm sure a lot of that has to do with PlayStation and Xbox not being able to hammer out the details with regards to that. Okay, we've already talked about the Toyota Supra, which, again, you see in the screenshot that will be included in the Xfinity series. Also of note, Sonoma Raceway has been upgraded to include the carousel, so a very nice addition there. We're always looking at what kind of tweaks they're going to make to new tracks or adding and changing existing ones. Well, there's a change to Sonoma that's going to be in NASCAR Heat 4. So not bad. Again, this is just the initial information. We'll be getting a lot more information and trailers as the time continues on before release. But now let's take a look at one more article, and that is over on motorsport.com by Tim Southers. There's a couple of important details that I want to mix in here. Now, a lot of the same information about pre-orders and the different versions and that kind of thing, but there were a couple of things here that really stood out to me, and one is the career mode Extreme Dirt Tour will now include Tony Stewart as the highest ranking driver in the series, and he will also have his own team, which you will be able to drive for. So I know a lot of people are going to be wanting to drive for Smoke Racing in the Extreme Dirt Tour. Not bad at all. You also have access to a custom paint scheme on his number 14 late model if you decide to go that route and sign with Smoke Racing. Very nice addition to the Dirt Tour. Also, as we look through here, there is one more thing that I wanted to point out, and it is a little bit higher on the screen, and it says the fourth installment boasts a deeper career mode where players can operate and manage their own team, and that's not really anything new. We've been able to do that in NASCAR Heat 3. The addition is, for the first time, you can start in any of the 4 series included in the game. Now, a lot of you I know are like me, and you like that career mode progression, starting out in the dirt, moving to trucks, and so on. But it's always nice to be able to run a career mode where you can start directly in the Cup Series or directly in Xfinity and so on. So for the first time in NASCAR Heat 4, we will have that opportunity. That's going to do it for today. We'll be back later with more NASCAR Heat 4 news on Knee Pit Gaming.